Oh, what was the Netflix science fiction shorts?
Black Mirror?
No.
The shorts.
Uh,
Love, Death, and Robots.
Love, Death, and Robots.
Oh.
Weird. It's a DVD collection of Love, Death, and Robots, plastic bags that are well reviewed for their mouthfeel. And you know that Netflix has data scientists going through Love, Death, and Robots and looking at where people paused and what they rewatched over and over and over again. And Love, Death, and Robots Part 2 is just going to be like, I want that to be in Love, Death, and Robots Part 2. Like the data scientists that have to crunch all of the data on those shorts to iterate on them.
I'm reading a manga about it's about a guy who buys from a secondhand store. This is in future Japan, technically.
And then he falls into another planet.
He goes to a secondhand store and he buys a cooking robot.
Oh, okay.
Who is shaped like a small adult woman. And so she has she has to stand in a box in order to be tall enough to actually like cook on his counter and stuff. And he is desperate for companionship, and he ends up like falling in love with her. But part of the thing that's interesting is that about it too is that she doesn't have anything programmed into her to kind of interact with him in an emotional way.
Why would she? She's a cooking robot.
But there's other things that she has programmed into her that don't really make sense that they're there. And because she's secondhand, it's kind of like, did somebody actually program certain like procedures or pathways or whatever into her? And so what's interesting though is it's actually a really sweet manga because it's a really sweet manga.
You say that about everything you watch.
Because he falls in love with her, and it seems like she's falling in love with him, but it's not entirely clear. But there's a point where she's going to get to go back to the factory and and have upgrades done. It's complicated as to why this is happening, but they're having upgrades done. And he's trying to say to her, please don't have any upgrades that change who you are.
Okay.
Because she's like, I could, it's like she's looking at the she doesn't smile ever. She has like very no affect on her face kind of deal. And she's
That's how
looking,
you know she loves you.
Exactly. She's looking at all of these things in the catalog, and she's looking and circling like a bunch of things that are like.
She gets to choose her own upgrades?
She gets to choose her own upgrades. She ends up choosing upgrades that like because she circles like this deluxe package, and he's like, I don't like the idea of you coming back and being able to smile at me. I don't like the idea of you having like realistic skin put on you. Like those kind of things.
And as your male romantic partner, I have a say as to what you do with yourself.
Well,
Did you know Detroit was on the Underground Railway?
And so what's amazing about that is she calls him on that.
Okay.
In the manga, it's kind of like, you don't get to make that decision, really.
Yeah.
But I guess we're partners, and we kind of have to have a conversation. And so what she says, like, okay, she's like, I know what I'll do is we'll split this into half the decisions. So she takes the catalog and she tears it in half, and she hands him the first half of the catalog that's full of like all the new models of girls that he could get. And she has the half that has all the upgrades that she can have done to herself. Like, that's your decision. This is my decision. And he's like, okay, you're right. You know what? Like, it was really like, you either let me do what I want, or you go find yourself a new robot to be your wife.
Are there ever mangas with robot husbands? Is there ever a robot man who is like, I'm going to go to the robot store and get myself a new Peepus, and the woman's like, no, I love your Peepus. Like, is that ever happened?
Well, probably like a robot husband that would need the upgrade probably doesn't have a Peepus at all.
All right. Please. The true like Pinocchio wishing to be a real boy.
I think Time of Eve has a grandfather robot that dies.
Okay, that's nice.
Gets old and dies.
How does a robot die, though? That's really the question we gotta ask ourselves.
Just gets old. We watched that one series about the robots that die.
Did we finish that?
Yeah, we did.
Oh, I just remember it being.
It was sad.
That one.
Yeah. It was sad.
Plastic memories.
Yep. It was sad.
Hey, Heather. Please tell me about Chibi Robo.
Chibi Robo is the best robot and the only kind of robot that needs to exist. Chibi Robo is like maybe 3 inches tall, and tries really hard to vacuum up all of your very large footprints that you've left around the house because you couldn't be bothered to take your shoes off. And you tracked mud everywhere. And you just throw your paper balls around, I guess. So he's got to like pick that up and go find a garbage can and toss it in the garbage can. And solve all the other toys' problems because they're having their little crises. You know, one toy is stuck very high up in a castle and cannot get down, and the mummy hiding under the bed really wants to propose to her, but is feeling not adequate. And there's that Sentai toy who really thinks he's a Sentai, but he's pretty okay. He gives Chibi Robo like some duties, and teaches him how to pose.
Yeah,
like
and
the
then
Sentai.
then Chibi-Robo gets his own Gachimon outfit.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
yeah, and Chibi Robo has many tools like a little vacuum cleaner, a little toothbrush to scrub out those split stains, the
My kind of
spoon
lad.
for like shoveling, because depending on the game, Chibi Robo gets really into gardening and plants flowers and makes them dance.
Heather,
Yes.
can you tell us about your shirt?
Okay. I am wearing a shirt of a fox. It is from a indie game called Tunic that, as far as I'm aware, is not out yet, but eventually will one day be out and will be amazing.
It's not out because it's on my wish list, but it looks incredible.
Yeah, it's shoot, I can't remember the name. Corey, help me. Who
What-
develops this game? Tunic.
Dicey. Andrew Schuldis.
What's the
Tunic.
studio name?
Because Finji is the producer, right?
Finji's producing it. I don't know if
Okay. Well, that's
and Felix is publishing or producing.
yeah. All right. So
The publisher is Finji.
Yes.
But the developer
F-I-N-J-I.
studio is really just Dicey doing it, right?
yeah,
Pretty
I think
much.
so.
Yeah.
It's I've played the demo for it like
least a dozen
probably yeah 3 or 4 times at the booth and on Steam, because when they were doing the online thing they put it up on Steam briefly for a short period of time, and you're just like a little fox with green tunic and a sword going around adventuring.
It's darling, but it's been in the works for a very long time.
Yeah, but they're
And that
yeah, they'll
happens
get
with
there.
games.
Indie games always feel like they take longer because you find out about them really early on because they need the support generally, and to get that build up than say a AAA game that can kind of hide a lot of their stuff for a long time.
The design of the character and the world is a little low poly, and it seems very, and I mean this not in a mean way, in a very charming way, very like Zelda-y.
Yeah,
Both the
it's got a-
gameplay and the graphics, and it looks gorgeous.
It's got a very Zelda-like quality. The little bushes and grass, I think they're more bushes. They you can like bump them out of the way like little
Yeah,
a little bumper car. It's super cute.
Yeah, they look like they're
I'm-
made of like foam because they kind of bend and they go
Yeah.
springing back to
This
their.
this game could come out in 10 years and I would still be really excited when it finally comes out.
Yeah.
I want it to come out sooner than that if that's possible, but don't rush